Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Cookie Monster of ProForgeRacing, bringing you my 79th Forger review, zombiepowerbomb. Zombiepowerbomb is a really good forger. He's a pretty new forger, if I'm correct. I don't think he started forging that long ago. He's mostly a racetrack forger, and he makes a variety of different racetracks, actually. Different styles, from roller coaster to double wide to aesthetic to this one, which I believe would be maybe a hardcore map. It's a really unique map. This map is called Blackreach EX, and it's an Endurocross map. So I guess that's kind of a hardcore map. Endurocross is a supercross racetrack, except like hardcore, pretty much. Usually they're like fairly realistic, just like they'll have rocks and like bundles of things to climb over as opposed to just jumps. This one's like a very exaggerated version of one, and it's got like obstacles and stuff. It's more of like an obstacle track, but it's part of a racetrack, which is really cool because there aren't that many obstacle courses that I've seen for monkeys in Reach. However, there's tons in Halo 3, and this track is almost kind of like a mix between an obstacle course and a racetrack, so it's really cool. And his designs and stuff for the obstacles are awesome, and you go all the way up to the end of the map, and then you turn around and go back, and then at the start there's a turnaround. So the turnaround at the start's kind of confusing. I thought there was a teleporter, that's why I drove into the wall, but I guess you're just supposed to turn around. I didn't realize that. Anyways, this next map is called Antisophobia, and I honestly don't know what's that. A phobia is a fear of something, and I don't know what Antisophobia is. What's that a fear of? What that is a fear of. But this is a really nice double wide racetrack. There's some cranes and stuff on it. There's a helicopter on it. It's got some great scenery, and it's a really smooth map. And he has something written up here, and I can't tell what it is, but that'll come up in a minute. It's a nice map. Right here, there's a little gap in the track, and there's a helicopter like holding up a piece. Back there were some explosions, and right here there's a split section cave. You can go higher or lower, and I think that's really cool. I like that feature there. And right here is the written part. It looks like it says, I couldn't tell what it said. It looks like it said like dancer or something. I don't know, I couldn't tell. But anyways, it's a great map. He didn't know how to end it, but he came up with a transition that kind of works, but it can be bumpy at times. But anyways, this is the next map, and it's called Turbulence, and it is a roller coaster. And as I said at the beginning, he is a very varied forger, not varietied. He's a varied forger, meaning he can make a variety of different types of maps. He can forge roller coasters, double wides, supercross, pretty much anything. He's a really talented forger, and he had partially made a bunch of maps. I think a few of these maps even, what he had done was he started them and got very far, and then he'd get to one point where he sort of got stuck or didn't know what to do, or a part was bothering him, and he'd just stop and start a new map. And when he first sent me a message and I first saw one of his maps, he was working on this one map, and then he showed me. And then I told him, I was like, well, I'll do a forger review of you if you get like 5 or so good maps out. And then like a day or two later, he's like, okay, I have enough maps, even though he had only had one the day before, because he had a bunch that he had started. So yeah, all these are actually pretty recent maps. I know with my reviews, I'm often behind, and so people often have tons of new maps out. So always, every time I do a forger review, be sure to check the people's file share, including zombiepowerbomb, because he might have a bunch of new maps in his file share by now, because I usually, people ask for a review and give me specific maps, and I make the video, but by the time the video comes out, it's like a month or two later, and they have new maps, but the video was already created. So but anyways, it's a nice map, and it ends again with the terrain. Right there, I start in a little explosion for my videoing. This is a cool map. This one's called Mountain Road, and it's kind of like a hybrid track, which again is a different style. It's got a little double wide, a little bit of roller coaster. Well, really only like a tiny bit of double wide. It's got some roller coaster, some terrain. He said that this map was inspired by my map explosive, which I was very flattered by. It's the second map that someone has done. There was the Explosive Redux map that Evan Royalty made, and then this map. So, you know, I'm glad that map inspired people to forge, you know, maps sort of roughly based. It's not like based off it, but he said he saw that map and then it sort of inspired him to make this one a little bit. It's not like a replica or anything. It's just somewhat based with the area of it and the explosions. But yeah, it's a cool map. Right here is the little roller coaster section. It's kind of strange because you just kind of go to this little like circle and then you turn around and do it backwards, but it works. I mean, that's kind of unique how it's just like a little line and then a circle that you turn around in and then you go back out. But yeah, and there's also a little bit of MX right here. I actually forgot about this part. So it's kind of like a quadrid, like there's 4 different, a little bit of double wide, a little bit of roller coaster, a little bit of MX, lots of terrain, and it all pretty much flows together nicely. There's, I mean, the transitions are all pretty good, like from terrain to track and track to terrain. Not all of them are perfect, but they're usually pretty good. And right over here he uses this little section here, and if I'm correct, yeah, you go through the cave and then there's a double wide section and then you go back around but you go up above. Right over here you'll see that he uses pretty much this entire island area, and you know, he spreads it out nicely, and there's some cool different scenery and there's some explosions that are falling, so it is in that sense similar to Explosive, my map that I made. It feels like I made Explosive like a month ago, but it was almost a year ago. I believe it was September of last year. That's crazy. But then there's a little spirally roller coaster section at the end, which is a little bumpy, but it's kind of fun. And I flipped right there, showing off my true driving skills. But yeah, it's a nice little map. This next map is really, really cool. This one is called Halo caps lock :space pinball. Halo pinball. And it's a pinball machine. If you've ever seen a pinball machine or played the game pinball, you'll know, which I'm sure everyone has, you'll know exactly what this is. It's got all the little bumpers, and it's got shield doors for the bumpers and stuff. It's got the area down at the bottom. And pretty much you are the pinball going through the pinball machine. And I don't know how he thought of it or how he made it, but it's crazy. Yeah, you kind of go, there's a man cannon to your right, and you go, and it kind of pushes you up at an angle at the beginning there. And then there's this part. I was supposed to go down right there and go up to my right. I didn't realize that, because I mean it's kind of confusing. I think it's more for the look, like the aesthetic and the idea of it. Like the idea that you're a pinball is really cool, and the fact that he made a pinball machine is awesome. But like, and it works. It just doesn't work that well because it's a small area and there's some tight squeezes. I think if he tweaked up the lap a little better, it might work as well. Because I believe it's right here. You go straight down and then you bounce back up. And if there's, you know, even 2 of us right there, we had a little trouble getting out. If there was like 5 people and you had to push them all back, it would be, you know, pretty hard to do so. It'd be pretty hard to, you know, get back out. You go up against a wall and then get shot back. If there was like 5 people, that just wouldn't work. But I mean, overall, it's a great map. It's really cool looking, and the idea of it's well, like the idea of it's good. It's just not well done. Well, it is well done. It's just, that's not what I mean to say. It's a very nice map. It's just, it doesn't work as well as you would hope. That's all. But I certainly couldn't do it better myself, so I love the map overall. Anyways, here's the overview of the next map, which is really cool, and this is the map that he started right after I first met him, pretty much. And this map is called Crash Site, and it's supposed to be, like, right here, what I'm racing on is a crashed airplane. I kind of messed that part up. I don't know why. But it's a crashed airplane, and then over here is like the wing of it. It's a small map in a small area, but it's actually got a decent lap time. It's like almost a minute, I think. And it's just got amazing scenery. Like, he's got this fire truck over here squirting water out. And he said that cost him a few $1,000s. And then there's another fire truck over there with the extended ladder. And there's an ambulance with its lights on. And, you know, over here is a fiery part of the plane with, like, luggage and stuff around. It's just... It's a very, very cool map. I really liked it. Right there, that part, I got stuck. And, I don't know, I kept that part in the video because, like, I just want to show you how that can happen. Right there, like, I fell through, like, a hole in the map, and, I'm pretty sure that hole was not supposed to be there. But, that's alright. That's okay. Anyways, my second lap I do a lot better. That's why I put 2 in. And, it's not a terribly, like, it is a decently long map. Like, it's like a minute, but it's not, like, so long. So I figured I could do another lap. Because I messed up the airplane at the beginning. So I wanted to show you that was my fault. It usually works. I mean, if you're going too slow on the airplane part at the beginning, it can mess you up because there's a couple little jumps that you do. But, yeah, the only part that's sort of the map's fault is, at the end. Right there at the end, there's like a little hole in the map because it's like supposed to be like that, but I don't know. It's just kind of annoying how there's a hole you can fall through in the water. And anyways, this last map is called An Ode to Umish. And for those of you who don't know who Umish Day 3 is, Umish Day 3 is a very good forger, and he makes very unique roller coaster kind of maps, and he uses unique pieces, and he designs it weirdly, and they're usually fast-paced. And he tried to make this map similar to one of Umish Day's maps because he really likes Umish Day's maps, so that's what this is all about. And there's like a cool scenery piece, and it's pretty much just like a very interesting, unique roller coaster. Umish Day is also, you know, his maps are pretty known for doing crazy like stunts and flips, and right there's one of those like side barrel roll, like you do it like 4 times or something, so it's really cool. And yeah, it's just an awesome map. I like Umish Day's maps as well. But zombiepowerbom's a really good forger, and you can tell he's just like, he's getting a lot better, and he just started, so I mean, if he's making this great of maps already, you know. So go to his file share and download all his maps, please. I'm sure he's got some new stuff in there. But thank you guys very much for watching. Cookie out.